I was thinking about leadership the other day. I think about leadership a lot. And the fact that it's an incredibly well-researched fact now that the most important factor that affects business success is leadership effectiveness. There's no doubt about that. But we should be asking the question, what does leadership effectiveness mean? How do we become more effective leaders? I saw some articles in the Harvard Business Review over the past 3 or 4 weeks. One was 5 ways to become a better leader, which were 5 competencies, things you could do. The other one, I think, was 7 ways to become a better leader. 7 competencies, just skills. Absolute hogwash. How do you do those things when you're not doing them previously? How do you suddenly become a master at leadership? Because that's what we're trying to do. Leadership effectiveness is about being a master of leadership. So when we look at leadership effectiveness, we should be looking at mastering leadership. Mastering leadership is basically 2 parts to that. So there is what I like to call the outer game. The outer game are the competencies and the skills, the things we should do. What Harvard Business Review is telling us to do, these 5 things. We can learn those things, we can practice those skills. But the other part of leadership effectiveness and leadership mastery is the inner game. It's our consciousness. It's tied up with some of those words like passion, vision, humility, integrity, attitude, wisdom, a whole pile of things which we can't learn from a book. Leadership consciousness becomes the conscious way that we actually become a good leader. That we learn those skills, we practice those skills, and then we're conscious of those skills in the moment. When we have to deliver them, be it to an employee or be it to other groups that we're working with. So leadership consciousness is about the inner game. It's about how do we get our prefrontal cortex and our brain involved in being conscious of what we do when we are a leader. And can we read it from a book? Can we learn it from a book? No, of course we can't. We've got to practice it. We've got to work with other people. People that have a bit of grey hair. People that have been there and that have done that and understand what leadership consciousness is about. That's the only way. We can go to leadership courses. There's lots of them around. You can learn those skills. But if you don't learn the inner game, you'll never be able to leverage them because the inner game drives the outer game. Without the inner game, the outer game doesn't work.